Hello and welcome to the DIY Investing YouTube channel. We're going through every company in the S&P 500, and today is American Airlines Group, ticker AAL. In the next 5 minutes, I will discuss both valuation and quality of this business based upon what I can see with my QuickFS screener. So, first off is the industry. This is in the airline industry. It's one of the leading airline companies between American Airlines, United, Southwest, and you know about them, Delta, all within the United States. They provide transportation through the United States, both domestically and internationally. So, what can we learn about this business? Beta is 1.64, so it's highly volatile, and share turnover of 1577 is significant. This is extremely high share turnover and suggests some major changes either in the business that are causing a huge turnover of the shareholder base. So when I look at this, I'm immediately seeing red flags. I don't like seeing negative numbers in the valuation ratios, and I see a lot of losses on the return on invested capital. Let's count how many losses they've had in the last 20 years. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. That was positive, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So they've had 12 years of losses in the last 20. Off the bat, that would eliminate this from consideration for me. I would not invest in a company that has 12 years of losses in the last 20 years because it's just way too cyclical. You can see here the massive losses there. It's not even the same as the losses in, of course they lost money during the pandemic, but they just are not managing this very well. Let's look at revenue over the last 10 years. So you started at 24 billion and you only grew to 29 billion, and it was all over the place. You grew up to 45 billion, then of course it crashed during the pandemic and they would have lost significant amounts of money. As you can see, the operating profit, a loss of $11 billion, also $5 billion. That wipes out like 3, 4, 5 years of operating profits. Certainly, it looks like they lost like a decade of earnings almost in those 2 years. And so it's just massive setup here for negative returns for shareholders. This return on equity can't possibly be right because it's averaging out so many losses with positive years. This company's just way too cyclical. There's no way I would invest in American Airlines, already based upon the first 2 minutes I've seen here. Let's see if we can find something redeeming. Looked like at least until the pandemic, they were having positive gross profits. Same with positive operating profits. But you still had periodic losses on the net income line. Just a lot of problems here. Dilution's been ridiculous. So they started out with 250 million shares outstanding at the beginning of the decade, and they're up to 644 million. So you've basically doubled, almost tripled your shares outstanding. Balance sheet, we have 14 billion PP&E up to 37 billion PP&E. So they've massively increased their amount of assets without really growing a lot of the earnings. You can see long-term debt's gone from 6.7 billion to 35 billion. Red flags all over the place. I don't even know if I'm going to make it to 5 minutes on American Airlines. Like, this company just seems completely uninvestable. You can see they're issuing a lot of stock. They tried to do some buybacks here, issuing a lot of debt, trying to survive, of course, during the pandemic. There's just nothing here that's redeemable for me. I can't buy a company with this many losses. 12 losses in 20 years is just way too many. I like to have less, like 1 loss or 0 losses in a 20-year period. 12 out of 20 is 60% of the period, and that's just way too much. It means the industry is way too cyclical. Now, most of those were before 2014, and so they were able to earn money for 6 straight years. But again, that's just a cyclical industry. So, like, yes, the pandemic caused them problems, but they were going to have problems with something else eventually anyway. I would not invest in American Airlines. It won't hit my watch list at all. It's just too cyclical, not being managed well enough to make money. Pass. Stay away. Avoid. Like this video and hit that subscribe button. If you click on the bell, you'll get notifications when I release new videos. Thank you for listening, and until next time, stop paying fees, start building wealth.